Hey guys, welcome back to my channel. This is episode 4 of my deep dive into exploring the next 3 Marvel movies and the next 3 Marvel TV shows in order in my predictions too. Let's get started. Just want to remind you guys, I'll be breaking down the next 3 Marvel movies and the next 4 Marvel TV shows. This is the in-depth analysis that will split into 5 videos. And in each video, I'll break down 3 Marvel movies and 4 Marvel TV shows. And in this video, this is part 4. In other words, episode 4. You can find the link to the episode 1, 2, and 3 in the description below. Without further ado, let's start with the first 3 Marvel movies. The first one is Thor 5. So I think Kevin Feige will announce Thor 5 in San Diego Comic-Con or D23 this year. And maybe Kenneth Branagh or George Lucas will direct the movie. And possibly write the script too. We will of course continue to explore Thor's journey after Thor Love and Thunder, and we will see where it will take him. And we will focus on the establishment of New Asgard on Earth, and we may expect also to see some new characters popping out in the movie. Where I also believe Thor will travel across the universe to explore like other planets, and we will indeed expect the return of characters like Valkyrie, Korg, and also Lady Sif. We still don't know who will be the main villain of the movie, but I hope it will be like one of the strongest villains in the MCU that can take a fight and face Thor, since he is one of the strongest characters in the MCU. And I believe Hercules and Zeus will return, and maybe he will make some conflict problems with Thor and also New Asgard. I also hope he will explore mythological elements and characters from Norse mythology, and maybe one of the characters would be Beta Ray Bill, and he is one of the most important characters to Thor in the comics. And we don't want to forget Lady Thor, aka Jane Foster, will of course return, and I think Heimdall also will too. On top of that, we will explore and know more about Valhalla and how Jane and Heimdall will return from the dead to Midgard, aka Earth. Epic battles will occur in the movie, and I believe this movie will have like darker tone unlike the other 2 movies, and will focus more about like dark elements as we have seen in the first Thor movie. Finally, it will of course tease future cosmic storylines and potential connections to other MCU movies and also TV shows, and may finally connect much more to Avengers 5 and also Avengers Secret Wars. And I think it is set to release on February 2027. And the next movie is one of my most anticipated movie in MCU, is Avengers 5. We will of course by then know who will appear in the movie, and we will get to see the members of the Avengers line up, and it has been confirmed that over 60 MCU characters will appear in Avengers 5. I think the movie will be a multiverse storyline where we like expect to see some variants of Kang appear throughout the timeline in our MCU 616, and it will have a major impact conflict for the Avengers to face them. A lot of teams will appear and be formed, like Avengers, Guardians of the Galaxy, Eternals, Midnight Suns, and Young Avengers, Thunderbolts, and of course, my love, the Fantastic Four. We will focus more about old and new characters' development and growth and explore more throughout the movie. And we will also expect to see a very high action battles in the movie. And it will have much bigger scale than any other MCU movie before, or even any movie in general. More news will come out soon, and I believe we will like have an update about the movie in either San Diego Comic-Con or D23 this summer, or maybe both. And since it is slated for May 2026, I believe it will set to release on May 2027, even though they will officially start filming next year, early 2025. The final movie that I'll be talking about today is Midnight Suns. I think one of the most surprising Marvel announcements in San Diego Comic-Con or D23 this year is announcing Midnight Suns movie. It is a supernatural team of heroes that some of the heroes were introduced, and of course, new heroes to be introduced in the MCU. And the characters lineup are Blade, Doctor Strange, Moon Knight, Ghost Rider, Elsa Bloodstone, Black Knight, and Punisher. There will be a new supernatural heroes team called Midnight Suns. It will obviously have a darker, more mature tone and focusing on supernatural and mystical threats, where I think they will reveal a major villain that we have all been waiting for, which is Mephisto. He will set to be debuted on Ironheart series, maybe in his human form, and I think he will be in his devilish villain form and gain all the supernatural powers by the end of the series, and will play a major villain that Midnight Suns must face in this movie. The most important and exciting thing is to see the characters like interact to each other, and I would love to see how they will set a plan and beat up Mephisto. That's if he ends up being the villain of the movie. We will expect to see an epic battle like throughout the movie against the villain, maybe Mephisto, with their unique supernatural powers and ability. And I have high hopes it will be one of the best supernatural battles we will ever see in the MCU. The movie will tie to other MCU supernatural elements and potential like crossovers with characters, or maybe a cameo like Scarlet Witch or even Agatha Harkness. I mentioned that Ghost Rider will debut in Midnight Suns, and then we may get to see him in his solo series or movie after Avengers Secret Wars. I think it is set to release on July 2027. The first series that I will be talking about today is Daredevil Season 2. We don't know how Daredevil Born Again Season 1 ends, but I think we'll continue to explore Matt Murdock's personal and professional challenges. And of course we will see some returning villains from Season 1 like Kingpin and Muse, and maybe we'll get to see like some new villains appear too. And for sure the series will continue and will maintain the dark gritty atmosphere that myself and the fans love. And I believe we will continue to see Matt Murdock's life as lawyer, where I think we will see him like more in courtrooms scenes, and of course being Daredevil at night. We will of course get to deep dive into the settings of Hell's Kitchen and its impact on the story. The great thing about Daredevil is of course his fighting skills, and I believe we will continue to see him in his high quality fight against the villains that he will face. And the crazy theory that I want to put out there is I think the Punisher and Jessica Jones and maybe Spider-Man are set to appear in the series to help Daredevil fight Kingpin and Muse and put an end once and for all. And I think it will set to release on spring 2026. The next series that I want to talk about is Young Avengers. And yes, I believe it will be a TV series and not a movie. But who knows, maybe it turns out to be a movie, which is better. But if it does turns out to be a movie, I hope Marvel have a time to release it like before Avengers 5 and Avengers Secret Wars. Yet, I don't think they have time, since they have a lot of new movies to be announced and to be released, and that's why a TV series might be the best option for Young Avengers. So basically, it will be a new generation of heroes, which are Kate Bishop, Miss Marvel, America Chavez, Wiccan, Speed, Iron Patriot, Stature, Kid Loki, and Hulking. And I believe Kate Bishop will be the leader of Young Avengers, as she was in the comics. Maybe Wanda Maximoff, aka the Scarlet Witch, will appear in the TV series, since she played a huge role in Young Avengers comics, like specifically in Children's Crusade. The series will focus on the relationships and dynamics within the team, as we have seen the original Avengers did back in the first Avengers movie that was released in 2012. The main villain of Young Avengers in the comics was Kang, and I don't think he will be the villain of this series, but I do think if it does happen, maybe one of the variants of Kang will be the main villain of the series, and maybe that variant will be Iron Lad, aka Nathaniel Richards. He was one of the members of Young Avengers. Or maybe the villain turns out to be Ultron. We first seen them debut in Avengers Age of Ultron. The team will be facing challenges specific to their age and experience level, and they will carry a lot of responsibility as they are still young but experienced. I hope we can see an adaptation of Children's Crusade, which was one of the best comics ever, where it also particularly focused on Wiccan and Speed as they search of their missing mother, the Scarlet Witch, where she had trouble with altering her powers. So that's why I think Scarlet Witch may set to appear in the series alongside the Young Avengers, and maybe possibly a Kang variant, Iron Lad, aka Nathaniel Richards. We might see some opportunities for crossover with other MCU characters. Maybe some of the OG's Avengers like Hawkeye or Hulk will appear in the series, or maybe a new Marvel character will appear in the series, so we just gonna have to wait and see. And I think it is set to release on summer 2026. The next series that we'll be talking about is SpiderMan Sophomore Year, which is the sequel as a second season to Friendly Neighborhood Spider-Man. And of course it will focus on Peter Parker's sophomore year and high school. It will also continue to balance Peter Parker's school life with being Spider-Man. And I think there will be a new villains. The villains from your friendly neighborhood Spider-Man will appear in the second season, like Kingpin, Scorpion, Norman Osborn, and so on. So yeah, I think Daredevil will continue to be with Spider-Man, so I think he will appear too. And I believe we will witness and understand Peter Parker's new power and how he controls it, which I think there will be a new hero to help him guide, potentially like maybe one of the OG's Avengers. So yeah, I think he will get like new gadgets and new suits upgrade too. The great thing is we would want to see Peter Parker's like impact on his community as both Peter Parker and Spider-Man, and a lot of emotional moments in Peter's personal life. And I think it is set to release either on fall 2024 or summer fall 2025. The last TV series that we'll be talking about today is I think Kevin Feige will announce Hawkeye season 2, and I think with the same director that directed and wrote the first season. We will continue to see the best duo partnership between Clint Barton and Kate Bishop. We will also expect to see and have a lot of street level grounded action sequence throughout the series, as we have seen in the first season. We will deeper explore Clint's past and his mentorship of Kate, and I think this is the season where Clint's brother will be introduced in the series, Barney Clint. The villain in the series is yet to be determined, but we would expect to see like a new Marvel villain to debut in the series, and maybe the Tracksuit Mafia will appear and maybe will play a huge role too. I think one of the characters that might show up again are Yelena and Echo. Yelena and Kate Bishop chemistry were amazing in the first season, so I hope she will appear again, and as always I want them to see them both together again. And as for Echo, I wish she and Clint to be together again, and I want Echo to forgive Clint for what he did. And it's hard to forgive for sure, but it was all Kingpin's plan to kill her father, William. I hope also in this series to have high production values and storytelling that stays true to the tone of the first season, because it was so fantastic. And I know Kevin Feige and the team will deliver the perfect story, and it will be fantastic, as I said. We would also want to believe to know like the insights into Kate's journey to fully embrace her role as a hero, and to build her character development much more to make her ready to be in the Young Avengers team. As I just shared my thought that I think she will be the leader for the Young Avengers as she was in the comics. And of course we will focus more on personal stakes and challenges Kate Bishop and Clint Barton will face in season 2. And I think it is set to release either fall 2026 or spring, summer, fall 2027. That is all for today. Thank you guys for tuning in. Catch you guys later, and I'll see you in the next video.